clear about how he felt about the sports writers. He was very clear about them putting words in his mouth. Um, and Ricky Henderson, who had the all-time leading stolen bases record and probably could have stole bases for 3 or more years, looking at his body and looking at at how he worked. And I remember sportscasters would go, "Oh, he's not hurt. He's hot dogging it." And he looked at him one day and he said, "You don't put up my kind of numbers, hot dogging it. You don't put up my kind of numbers." But I just it's like Bob Costas. Bob Costas is not an athlete. Not but and for this guy to come on TV and talk about football or baseball or basketball or anything, I just turn it off. When I see Costas, I just totally turn it off because and then even the women do a lot better job than Bob Costas in most respects because they respect what these athletes are dealing with and what they're going through.
Right.
And in Simone's case, she put out that video where she was doing her flips and she couldn't land on her feet. When I first saw that, I knew she had vertigo. It's a form of vertigo. It's an inner ear issue. We used to experience it when you're skydiving. If you skydive and you have a cold or you're coming on with a cold, you'll have that same issue. You can't tell up from down. You can't balance yourself. It becomes a real problem. And
correct.
But people who haven't done those things, they have no idea. And as you were pointing out, these people are sitting home with Cheetos, have no idea what these people have gone through just to get there.
Exactly.
I mean, here is a woman who is considered the GOAT of gymnastics. And when I listen to her, it just warms my heart because I was listening to one of her teammates, a lady named Allie Rasmussen, and she said she's just under too much pressure. She said, I was under a lot of pressure, and I'm not Simone. She said Simone was under a lot more pressure than me. So it was really interesting. So let me ask you this. When you talk about surviving depression, Mickey, getting back to you,
yes.
What are your thoughts on that? What do you have to say about that?
Mental illness, when it comes to depression is absolutely nothing but this. You have had a tragedy in your life, and your mind doesn't know how to process that. So your mind doesn't know how to tell your emotions to respond whenever you have gone through that tragedy. So everything boils down to a thought. The thought that comes to your mind, be it negative, be it positive, is coming from your brain that is telling you how to respond to a situation. And so what we have is people that are dealing with depression. We have people that are believing their own thoughts, even though they're negative and wrong thoughts. They're false narratives that they're putting in their own mind based upon their emotions. So I proclaim that if we can get control of our thoughts and actually look for the truth that is actually in those thoughts, we're able to start turning around the depression in our life. Will we ever get over depression? No, because we'll never get over tragedy. But we can learn how to live with depression and live with a smile on our face.
And you're saying you can do this without medical intervention or professional intervention?
Not at all. That is exactly where we have to go. Any person that comes to me and says, what do I need to do first? I say, go to your family doctor. You need to let them know what you're feeling and what you're thinking. But the medication is not there to cure the depression. That's why we have so many people that are overdosing now and not having any type of value of life with medication, simply because they're trying to take pills to take away the depression instead of what it was intended for. The medicine is intended to clear the mind waves so that you can think clearly and make rational decisions on your own. If you're going to beat depression, you're going to have to have the tenacity to fight it every day. But it gets easier as you fight because you start learning how to fight the thoughts that are coming through your mind.
And so what thoughts come through your mind?
Well, thoughts like I want to kill myself, thoughts like I want to provide harm, thoughts like I'm not good enough, thoughts that just cause you to want to cry all day long, thoughts that thinks that you have already missed it in life, that you're never going to make it, thoughts of just everyday living. Those are the negative thoughts that come to your mind. And the people that react on those thoughts, where they turn to any type of an addiction, or they start turning to any type of harm that they provide for themselves, their action is based on what they're believing. And what they're believing is the thoughts that are coming to their mind. So if we can change the thought behavior of what we're thinking, then we're able to change the actions that we're taking on our bodies.
Okay. That seems fair.
I started out with a psychologist, meeting with him every week for an entire year just so I could get out of the house. Because when I wanted to end my life, I built up an anxiety to where I didn't want to be around people. I couldn't be around in public. So when I was starting the meeting with a psychologist, I started understanding that all my psychologist was doing was turning my thoughts around on me. Because every thought that I had, we looked for the truth inside that thought. We tried to figure out what triggered that thought. What made me think that? What happened? What did someone say? What did I do that caused me to think that thought? And then I had to start turning it around and start looking for the truth out of that thought. So those moments when I felt like I have no reason to live, well, I started figuring out that's a negative false narrative in my own mind. I had to start looking at what I did have to live for. So when I looked into the eyes of my wife, looked into the eyes of my daughter, knew that she was engaged, going to get married, I wanted to walk her down the aisle. Those things I started realizing that thought that just came to my mind is a false thought. So therefore, I don't need to continuously think that thought. I'll recognize it as being a false thought. And then the next time it starts coming up, I start finding those things that cause me to realize the absolute truth.
And so, did your daughter get married?
She did. I walked her down the aisle 6 weeks ago.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. So the only difference between me now and me 3 years ago is that I'm winning. Do I still have thoughts that come to mind? Absolutely. But I know what to do with them now. Do I have days where I wake up and I don't want to go out? Absolutely. But now I know how to attack that. So we got to learn exactly what causes this, and then we got to learn how to attack it. But we can't go the wrong route to do it.
Right.
And thinking medication is the super all answer. I'm on medication now. It's not to cause me not to have depression. It's to cause me to be able to think clearly so I can fight the depression myself.
Okay. That's good.
So that's what we're doing in helping people. And people always say, well, why laughter? Why a comedian? Well, if you study most comedians, you'll find out that those that have the most successful careers had the most screwed up lives. Well, I qualify. So when we go and make people laugh, it's not because of the fact that you're just trying to be funny. Many times it's because we're trying to cover up the hurts that we have on the inside. And as a young child, I was always trying to make people laugh because I didn't want people to know how I really felt and how I was really hurting on the inside. So I started making people laugh, and it's turned into a career.
Well, it's good. So do you ever come up to Chicago? You ever play Second City?
I haven't yet. I have been opening up for a lot of your contemporary Christian artists, doing a lot of shows. I will be playing the Birmingham, Alabama Stardome Comedy Club in August, and we're just going to see what happens from there. We're talking to several television program outlets that we're shooting some footage for. So we've just got a lot of things that we're working on, just trying to use laughter as a way to tear some walls down so that we can deal with a real issue that's plaguing a lot of people, and that is mental illness.
Yeah. So Simone or the media has classified, and I think you're absolutely right. They've classified her issue as a mental illness issue when it's actually a physical issue.
Absolutely.
And the fact that she calls them twisties, and how they generally, kind of subside after a couple of weeks. But her not being able to stick a landing is not a mental issue as much as it is, I personally think, and I think it's going to shake out this way, something to do with her inner ear and vertigo, because that's what it looks like when she's in her video. It looks just like
exactly. I think what we've got to understand in the minds of those that are dealing with mental illness, it's one thing to claim it and it's one thing to deal with it. What we don't need are people using it as an excuse. And that's the only thing I was trying to say. Not that Simone said it, because again, I'm going to just stand up and say it right here. I have never seen any article or heard her do any interview where she claims mental illness. But there are articles and there are interviews being done that are talking about her and talking about this situation, trying to blame mental illness for what is taking place. Mental illness doesn't keep you from sticking a landing. Mental illness tries to take your life away from you. And I'm just only speaking out, trying to make sure that we understand the difference.
Okay. Well, we appreciate that. Appreciate that you're taking the time to try to do that.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to make this a priority on your show, because there are people that are in your area that are listening to this show that are trying to figure out why they need to live another day. And anytime that we can take the airwaves and have a powerful spot like your show on this station to be able to push that, I think it's awesome to be encouraging to those people that you can make it another day. You can win, and it doesn't matter what people around you say. You have the power to do it yourself. You just got to have the right guidance. So seek that guidance, get that help, and turn your life around so you can start smiling again.
Yeah, that's important. It's always important to smile. So, Mickey, thank you so much. Look forward to having you on again. And thanks for that support of Simone, because so many people are ragging on this young lady who are not athletes, don't understand her situation, calling her a coward and all kind of names. And I just think it's totally unwarranted at this point.
I think it is as well. If she were to come out and claim mental illness is the issue when it's not, yeah, I would probably have more to say. Don't use it as an excuse. But who are we to question anyone that decides they want to step down? She owes us nothing. You know what I mean? She owes us nothing. Why is it that we have to expect her to bring us home a gold medal?
Right. Well, that's a good point. People are, and those, as you were pointing out, these people are sitting at home eating Cheetos, and she's out there competing, and
Exactly.
and they think that they want to see her, and she's not entertaining. She's like, "Hey, I'm going to take care of me first."
Exactly. And we're living in a time and in an era where everyone wants to take every decision that's made and they want to make it political. And everything's all about this side against the other side. And any moment that we can find blood in the water, we want to run after it. I just don't see it that way.
Okay. Well, well, I'm glad to know that, and glad to hear that you support Miss Biles and how you support her, because there's so many people out there who've jumped on, oh, she's a quitter, and she, she's not a quitter, But anytime that you're performing as this young lady does, 15, 20 feet off the ground, uh, I couldn't get the courage to even attempt some of the things that she does, less alone.
Absolutely.
I mean, she is quite a competitor.
Well, she's been trained. Her body has been trained for this. Her mind has also been trained for this. So we have to know that when these athletes get to this point where she has reached the pinnacle of what she has reached, not only has she pushed her body to the extremes, but she has also pushed her mind to extremes. Do I believe that her mind can play tricks on her? Absolutely. She has probably pushed her mind further than it was supposed to be pushed to be able to reach the magnitude in which she has reached.
Well, she's overcome a lot of things in her life, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And
she's had a lot of issues. She's had a lot of tragedy.
Yep.
And she probably does have a bout with things that we are probably not even privy to, because we've not been able to sit down and talk with her.
Right.
So I don't think she deserves the negative attention that she's getting, but I also don't want, like I keep saying, I just don't want the mental health issue to be the excuse on why someone's not performing.
I understand that. I really do. Hey, well, look, man, it is wonderful having you on the show, and look forward to getting you back again.
Charles, I would love to come back and be with you, man. I love
it. Good. Well, tell AJ he'll hook it up for you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right. That was Mickey Bell. Hey, look, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Hello, this is Dan Perkins from America's Cannabis Conversation, and I'm here to talk to you about how you can take responsibility for your own health. CV Science products that can help you empower yourself against the COVID-19 virus are CV Acute and CV Defense. The Acute product is taken at an early onset of feelings of discomfort and works over 3 days to assist your immune system to fight off the virus. The second product is CV Defense, which is taken daily, and it helps to optimize the power of your immune system to fight off this virus. Recently on my program, I had an interview with Dr. Michael Lewis, who's been in public health for decades. I asked him about personal responsibility, and he said,
"You are responsible for your own health. Don't count on the government to provide you with a magic pill or a magic shot for your health. That is your personal responsibility."
If you want to empower yourself and take control of your health care, go to empoweryourself.info. That's empoweryourself.info and take care of your health care.
Yes, indeed. Go to empoweryourself.info. Take care of your health. Okay. Hey, look, we're going to take care of our health. And I'm out here looking at these steaks that have been cut in various designs. And I'm just baffled by them. But that's the name of the picture, Baffling Designs That Defy Common Sense. Okay. Wow. Well, I don't know. Anyway, the U.S. women's soccer team won last night, and I'm trying to figure out if the men won. Let's see, men volleyball team, did they win? Because I had that on, and I don't know if they won or if they lost to Brazil. I know they had a good match. Let's see. The roster. I don't hear about the roster. I want to hear if they won or they lost. Anyway, you know what? I guess I have to go to ESPN or somebody to kind of figure that out. But I always wondered what ESPN stood for. One of these days I'll figure it out. But I'm not going to take the time to do it today. Let's see. Olympics. Where are the Olympics? You guys need to help me out there in the chat room. Olympics. Let's see here. Eufaula. No, Olympics. I should put in here Olympics Live, right? Olympics 2020. But let's see, Tokyo. Jovac lost. Novak Jovic, he lost. He was beaten. So he's not going to pick up the gold medal. We were hoping, though, that he would do that, the French Open, the Australian Open, the U.S. Open, and pick up a gold medal. That would be a crowning star in his cap, but not going to happen this time around. So it probably won't happen because he's getting a little old. Next 4 years, young buck's going to rise up. Hey, but look, when we look at medals right now, and this is good for the U.S. because the U.S. really never really started winning medals until track, and those brothers and sisters start turning and burning. But I'm looking at all the black people who are in the pool swimming, and I'm just so proud of them. It just amazes me. Glad to see them in the pool. But right now, Americans are ahead in the medals with 41. China has 40. Russia has 34. Japan has 28. Great Britain has 24. Australia has 22. Italy has 20. Wow. Italy takes a lot of third places, I'll tell you that. They have more. They have as many third place finishes as we do, and we're in first. They only have 2 gold medals. Okay, then we jump down to Germany. They have 16 medals. They have a lot of third place finishes. Korea, South Korea, they have 6, and the Netherlands, they have 15. Interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. I love it. So right now, they're telling us what we need to know is, I guess they just had a marathon or whatever that 20K meter, or that 20, what is it? It's 10,000 meters. And of course, an Ethiopian won, a guy named Bariga, Solomon Bariga. He's 21 years old. He secured the last lap as he sprinted to the finish line. Now, you have to remember, these people are basically running skeletons, these Ethiopians. They should be outlawed. There should be a weight component. You should be at least weigh 130 pounds. These guys are running skeletons, man. You look at them. They have no meat on their bones. They're just like running skeletons. So I guess they have a heartbeat, a little blood running through their veins, a brain. Because they're very, when you talk to these guys, they're so alert and they're so vibrant and they're so happy, but they are so small. I mean, in terms of stature, they have basically no meat on their bones, but they can run. They will run you in the ground. That's why you don't see Americans winning the Boston Marathon anymore, or the New York Marathon, and certainly not the Chicago Marathon. And, when they run the Chicago Marathon, I lived in Chicago. I mean, it was a great weekend because you get all these people in town, and they were just serious. They were serious runners. And of course, the night before the race, they, load up on carbs. So, you couldn't get into an Italian restaurant because, all these people were in there eating pasta, wolfing down pasta. And it was cool. I enjoyed that. I always enjoyed watching that process shake out. Let's see. Oh, we had a young man or young woman and a young man that I remember. They were BMX riders, and they had some serious crashes. And I hope they're okay. I hope they're safe. I hope they recover. But they had some very serious crashes. In fact, I remember one young man from Britain. He from the U.S. I'm sorry, he's from the U.S. He had to be carried off and carried to a hotel. A guy named Connor Fields. He was a young American. Now, Simone Manuel. That's a name that's going to stick out for you. She's a black swimmer. She holds her head high in victory and defeat. Now, Simone and others, there were some people who tried to get swim caps for black women, and the IOC banned them because they thought maybe it gave them an unfair advantage. I don't know if it did or not, but the ladies put on the same hat that same swim cap that everybody else, and they kicked that butt. Wow, I love it. So, but Simone Biles, Simone Manuel is one of the fastest swimmers in the world. Let's be clear, not in America, in the world. But her journey to Tokyo was not that easy. In the big picture, the pandemic forced Manuel to temporarily relocate her training to a backyard pool in late March. And she was diagnosed with overtraining syndrome, severely limiting her time in the water before the Olympic trials. There, she failed to qualify for the 100 meters, crushing her chance at defending her Olympic title. Remember, well, you may not remember this because the press didn't really cover it, but this black woman won the 100 meter at the Olympics in 2016. Wow. So anyway, but just days after publicly revealing her battle with burnout and depression, Manuel dived into the pool again, winning the 50-meter freestyle at the Olympic trials and clinching her spot on the team. Manuel is the first Black woman to ever win an individual Olympic gold in swimming. Her first medal of the Tokyo Games earlier this week, taking bronze as the anchor in the women's 4x100 freestyle relay team. Okay. So she finished second with the second fastest time of the heats and advanced to the semifinals. Today, she's going to swim at tonight at 10:30 Eastern time. So I'll be watching that. And the finals, tomorrow at 9:30. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I tell you, I love it. But she did take the 100. She took the 100. She took a gold in the 100 in 2016, a gold in the 4x100 2016. She took a silver in the 4x100 relay and a silver in the 50. So, she's a swimming chick. And she goes on to say that I'm a person that doesn't quit. I knew that every task wasn't easy. I had to finish it. And after qualifying for the 2021 Olympic team, she proved it. She said, I'm proud of my fight, grit, and courage to face my fears, but most importantly, proud to walk away with my head held high in victory and defeat. That's important. It's not only important how you win, it's important how you take a loss. Pick yourself up, get back in the race. That's what Frank Sinatra used to say. Pick yourself up and get back in the race. Wow. So I was looking for that, the Olympic team, right? The volleyball team. Right now, though, the U.S. men's relay team is favored to win the gold in Tokyo. And they were reinstated after disqualification due to a possible officiating error. Hello. An officiating error. How does that happen? An officiating error. The U.S. relay team. They don't play around, boy, I tell you that. So now they have a mixed 4x100, and that's going to be interesting. The U.S. is going to win that, I'm sure. And but we had to do an official appeal to the IOC, which reviewed the incident and reinstated two athletes. Two athletes were disqualified, man. This is serious business. These people have no compulsion, though, about disqualifying qualified athletes, disqualifying people who they don't want to see win. Now, the USA team was disqualified. If you don't know the background, they were disqualified from a mixed gender 4x400 relay at the Tokyo Olympics earlier today, because two sprinters made a baton pass outside of the designated zone. But after an official appeal, the IOC reinstated the team and kept its gold hopes alive. Wow. They initially performed a baton pass in an unauthorized location, but is likely to due to an officiating error, which is why the IOC reinstated the 22-year-old athletes. What does that mean? Interesting. So Arby was seen standing outside of the handoff zone before Goodwin reached her, and Team USA, which was favored to win the gold, finished in first place at the event. But the officials announced a disqualification shortly after. Mistakes happen, said Godwin. He said, we're human. We do make mistakes. And at the end of the day, we don't know. He said, I know I'm going to hold my head high because we went out and competed our best. Okay, fine. Team USA filed an official appeal for the disqualification to the International Olympic Committee shortly after the event. And it seems to have paid off because they kept the gold. Okay. They kept the gold. Wow. The U.S., though, they lost a similar appeal at the 2016 Rio Olympics, where American sprinters were disqualified from the 4x100 relay after the leadoff runner, Mike Rogers, was ruled to have passed the baton to Justin outside of the first exchange zone. Hussein Bolt of Jamaica ended up winning the race anyway, and Team USA did not win the appeal. Wow. Interesting. So, man, I tell you, it is for lining Kirby up out of place before the race started. Oh, they lined him up out of place before the race started. Sounds a little suspicious to me. Everybody want to say, what? Sounds a little suspicious to me. Officials did not line up the second runners correctly, according to the sprinting coach, Lance Brothman, and he had the same argument. You guys, you lined us up wrong. There have been 8 other instances since 1995 of Team USA sprinters being disqualified for failing to get the baton around at the Olympic and World Champion relay events. Seems to be a common practice. These guys need to pay attention to that. They need to focus on that. They need to have somebody second guessing and checking out where they need to be, because it's obvious that the IOC and the World Championship folks don't want them to win. Simple. But, we haven't heard much about the men's basketball team ever since they got off to a shaky start. Oh, man. That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. Wow. It's going to be real fun. Okay. Let's see. The U.S. Justice Department says the IRS must provide former President Donald Trump's tax returns to Congress. There's no reason to do that. There's no law that says the president has to provide his tax returns to Congress, even if requested. Nixon started that junk for some reason. Man, it's amazing how these things take off and have a life of their own. It's amazing. Well, hopefully, they're still after Donald J. Trump. It's amazing. Amazing. Let's see, gold medal favorites. Okay. It's going to be interesting. They have a lot of swimming going on. Like I said, we don't tend to pick up medals until the track season really starts. Once the track starts, we get busy. Those medals start to fall. Now, the women's soccer team, they're having a bit of a real challenge over there. They're winning on penalty kicks and things like that. They usually go out and just kick butt, but people are catching up with them. That's good. More competition. As long as we win, I'm okay with that. I had taken some recordings, some clips, and Ali Reisman, I thought she probably had the best insight on Simone and what was going on with Simone. And I want to take time and play that for you before we go to break.
I can only speak from my own experience, and then watching the pressure that's on Simone, she had way more pressure that was on me, and I felt like it was too much for me to handle. I would say way too much pressure. It's just the amount of pressure that everyone has been putting on her is just, it's too much. And it's, I know so many people are well-intentioned and mean well, but I think that people forget that Simone is human. And, I appreciate how you guys said they won the silver medal, because I think there's so much pressure to win a gold medal. And the U.S. gymnasts did the best that they could. They did a great job, and they have so much to be proud of. And I think it's important that we start saying they won the silver medal.
Yeah, to that point, Allie, something like this obviously has an impact on the entire team. So I think, would you agree that they kind of showed who they are when one of their teammates falls out, and the pressure on them increased and they stepped up?
Yeah, there's already so much pressure, 3 up, 3 count, which means that every single score counts. They don't get to drop any mistakes. And the rest of the team did proud of her. And the way that I was so impressed with the U.S. gymnasts on beam, because that beam is 4 inches wide. It is so much pressure. And they came back and they hit their routines the best that they could. And I am so proud of them. I think they really showed their passion and their drive, and their hard work really paid off. So I'm very, very proud and very impressed. It's not easy.
Wow. That was, I thought that was poignant. And on that note, I want to take a short break. Okay.
Hello, this is Dan Perkins from America's Cannabis Conversation, and I'm here to talk to you about how you can take responsibility for your own health. CV Science products that can help you empower yourself against the COVID-19 virus are CV Acute and CV Defense. The Acute product is taken at an early onset of feelings of discomfort and works over 3 days to assist your immune system to fight off the virus. The second product is CV Defense, which is taken daily, and it helps to optimize the power of your immune system to fight off this virus. Recently on my program, I had an interview with Dr. Michael Lewis, who's been in public health for decades. I asked him about personal responsibility, and he said,
You are responsible for your own health. Don't count on the government to provide you with a magic pill or a magic shot for your health. That is your personal responsibility.
if you want to empower yourself and take control of your healthcare, go to empoweryourself.info. That's empoweryourself.info, and take care of your healthcare.
Okay, we're back, and wanted to play Joe Biden. Joe Biden and the mask. Here we are back with the power grab. We're going to go back to the mask routine.
We need to wear a mask to protect each other and to stop the rapid spread of this virus as we work to get more people vaccinated. And I hope all Americans who live in areas with substantial or high case rates will follow the mask guidance that's being laid down by the CDC. I certainly will, and I have, because this is one of those areas in Washington. And in my decision, in my direction, all federal personnel and visitors to federal buildings will have to do the same thing. As I said from the beginning, a mask is not a political statement. It's about protecting yourself and protecting others. Masking is one defense against the spread of COVID-19. But make no mistake, vaccines are the best defense against you getting severely ill from COVID-19. The very best defense. You want to know how we put this virus behind us? Well, I'll tell you how. We need to get more people vaccinated.
Wow. So they tell us we need to get more vaccinated. And then they tell us, okay, getting vaccinated won't necessarily end the infections that are going on. And so you say, well, what are we doing here? What am I doing? How do we end this thing? And nobody can tell us that. But it's time to end it. It's time to move on. It's time to do the right things. And I don't know about you all, but I am seriously tired of the doublespeak, the misconceptions. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of dealing with the not knowing, the unknown. That's the hard part. Hey, but look, we are going to sign off of Red State here in about a minute. And you guys will be back Monday. We'll be doing something on Monday. I don't know what, but I can tell you it's going to be good. Let's see here. I've put in time. So pay attention to the Olympics. Don't forget to cheer for us. The Americans, the American teams, say a prayer. And let's say a prayer for all our loved ones out there. It's something. we as we go into this, can you believe it's August already? I mean, where did the year go? It's amazing. I love it. Hey, look, thank you for everything. And guys, we'll be back, like I said, on Monday. So thanks for listening. Tell your friends about the show. And let's pick up those numbers. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, boy. That quit a long time ago. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Yep. Okay. So anyway, we are broadcasting at Red State Talk Radio, and we are signing off, Red State, and we'll be back Monday. So you guys be good. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Did you hear? Let's see. Joe Biden saying that we need to wear a mask, and Nancy Pelosi is declaring that if you don't wear a mask, you're going to be arrested. What kind of craziness is that? If you're a congressman or a visitor to you have to wear a mask if you're visiting the Capitol. Even so, if you're vacationing, they want you to put on a mask. How crazy is that? Or they're going to arrest you. I mean, Nancy Pelosi has lost her damn mind. She forget this is America. See, she and Obama and people like that of that ilk, they're power drunk. I mean, this woman has lost her mind. So one of the representatives, this is what he had to say. Let's see if we can play that real quick. Let's see. Let's see here.
My friend from Texas, Pat Fallon.
Uh-oh. That didn't work. Let's see if this is it. Okay. Okay, here we go.
To address the House for 1 minute.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 1 minute.
Madam Speaker, you are not God. Your will does not bend the forest or shake the mountains. And let me assure you, your will does not bow the knee of millions of my countrymen who refuse to heed your callous command. To threaten arrest on others for their own personal medical decisions is nothing short of a medical apartheid, and I will not let it stand. For if I am to cowardly bend the knee here like those on the left wish, then what is to stop you all from taking your tyranny to the rest of this country that I love? How dare anyone in this institution attempt to dictate to the patriots of my staff how they may live their lives? For one to think that because they have the title honorable attached to their name means that they may dictate what others may say and think repulses me. What makes this nation special is that in this free land, the people are the royalty. So arrest us if you will, but I will not cower and I will not bend. Madam Speaker, you have come to take away our liberties. But Madam Speaker, in this country, you are outnumbered. With that, I yield back.
Wow, that's deep. And he was very serious. He's very, very, very serious. And he was right. I mean, who does Nancy Pelosi think she is? You know, she's not God. She's telling us that we have to wear, if you don't wear a mask to, if you don't wear a mask to the Capitol, you'll be arrested. I mean, just type it in, mask wearing on the Capitol. Type it in and see what happens. That's T-I, it's O-L, Capitol, not Capital, Capitol. Said a day ago, Nancy Pelosi ordered the Capitol Police to arrest staff and visitors not wearing masks after the new House mandate. Can you believe that? Pelosi told the Capitol Police to arrest visitors not wearing masks. So you show up, you're not wearing a mask, you know, you got on your cutoffs, and I remember, man, these people, they talked about the American people visiting the Capitol and how they were stinky and sweaty. And so they built a special area for visitors to walk through. And so that the members of Congress didn't have to smell them or interface with them. True story, man. I'll never forget that. But again, masks are required for members of the House. Now you go over to the Senate, you don't have to wear a mask. So members of the GOP walk to the Senate side to prove that you didn't have to have a mask. It's crazy. Masks are returning to the Capitol and the White House. Wow. Anyway, now they're saying that Capitol Police authorized to arrest visitors and staff for not, but I think they rescinded that. The Capitol physician called out for not wearing a mask. Oh, he was the former White House physician, and he refused to wear a mask. And so what happened to him? Let's see. He refused to wear a mask. He said, Drew Ferguson.
What is life like for the Americans who live along the Mexican?
Drew Ferguson from Florida said that, and Dr. Monahan took off their mask on Wednesday while addressing GOP members of Congress on the importance of the new mask mandate he announced this week. He said the thing was very surprising is that in that room, Dr. Monahan had violated his very own guidance and was sitting at a table next to other members of Congress without his mask on. Oh, this gets funnier and funnier. And it would be too funny if it weren't serious. He said, it's the rules for thee, none for me syndrome that so many Democrats have. It's true. Brian Monahan is the Congress attending physician, and he reportedly didn't wear a mask when he was briefing lawmakers on the new mask mandate. You can't make this up. So he goes in to brief them on why they need to wear a mask, and he's not wearing one. Oh, and here's Kevin McCarthy. What does Kevin have to say?
McCarthy.
If a vaccinated staffer comes across in the House side without a mask, you are ordered to arrest them, but not on the Senate. This is not the America we know. This is not Pelosi's house. This is the people's house.
McCarthy and other GOP members also.
Wow. It is. It's the people's house. It's not her house. But I tell you, that's what you get for electing a woman as speaker. Oh, do you think a guy would have the balls to do that? Oh, it's so asinine. It's so egregious. I don't think a guy would have the tenacity to try to pull off a stunt like that because he knew he'd get cut off at the knees. Okay? McCarthy would never attempt to do that. McCarthy says the country would be better off if Biden had done nothing since taking. True, the country would be better off if Biden hadn't done anything since taking office. I truly believe that, without question. See, look at the attendant physician. Oh yeah, that was horrible. Hey, but look, I got to run. It's getting late, so I'm out of here. I'm going to go ahead and end the program. And you guys can podcast it or pick me up somewhere else. I'm going to vacate the scene. We had a little technical glitch earlier in that sometimes when I start up the studio, it won't pick up the audio. But we're up and running. Been up and running most of the show. Hey, but look. Thanks again. Thanks, Robert, for being out there. Appreciate you, dude. Have a great weekend, Robert. And the rest of you guys have a great weekend also. We'll be back on a Monday.